Ziziquan Village, Zhejiang Province, China. This tiny village with only 1,000 villagers may look peaceful, but it hides a nightmare for many people around the world. Over 3 million snakes of various species are all living within an area of less than 1 square kilometre. Snakes have been considered medicinal gems for thousands of years in China. China supplies 70% of the world's snake production, and this tiny village has accounted for 30% of that output since the 1980s. But it's not only a place in the country that farms snakes. Guangdong Province in China is the largest snake export centre, and Hebei Province is its main supplier of snakes for domestic meat and medicinal purposes. The reason why Chinese people favour and develop snake farming into a $12 million industry comes from many different factors. Snake farmers in China can bring in a lucrative income of about 400,000 to 500,000 yuan, or 55,000 to 68,000 per year, making it a highly sought-after profession in rural areas. While scientific evidence is lacking, snake meat is valued for its nutritional value. It's low in fat and is rich in protein. It is also believed to help with skin conditions like eczema. In certain countries in Eastern Asia, snake gallbladder and snake wine have been popular remedies to strengthen kidneys and joint health. Thanks to these benefits, China's snake farming industry has become a multi-million-dollar economic powerhouse, generating significant revenue. A bottle of snake wine can be sold for 7,000 to 8,000 yuan, equivalent to around 980 to 1,100 US dollars. The journey of a snake on a snake farm starts with hatching eggs. Female snakes need to be 9 to 10 months old in order to start breeding. Have you ever seen snakes mating? They intertwine like this. Farmers sew snake lips together to stop them from eating their own eggs after laying. About 30 to 35 days after mating, the female lays between 12 and 21 eggs per clutch. The thread will be cut after the eggs are collected, which happens every 2 hours by hand. If farmers leave them in the cage for too long, they will die. Then these eggs are put into a box containing around 5 centimeters of soil and sand with 25 to 30% moisture content. A thin layer of sand is then spread over the eggs. The incubation period lasts around 75 days, during which the eggs must be regularly checked to ensure they are uniformly large, white, and dry. Any damaged eggs should be immediately removed. These large-scale operations regulate humidity and temperature at around 80 degrees Fahrenheit in order to mimic the natural habitat and to boost breeding success. Snakes undergo shedding as part of their growing process. Signs of an impending shed include a loss of appetite, lethargy, and increased aggression. The snake's skin becomes cloudy and its eyes turn opaque as it seeks a place to shed. Young snakes shed every 28 to 30 days, while older snakes, especially 2 years or more, shed every 35 to 45 days, usually in summer and autumn. During this time, farmers need to clean the barn regularly because snake skin is everywhere. Now we are back with the newly hatched baby snakes. Farmers need to check the incubation box thoroughly to make sure none are left behind. They are then placed in an enclosure. This farm put 80 cobras per cage. Water is provided 7 days after shedding, and they are often fed small animals like frogs and mice. The feeding frequency is every 3 to 5 days. Farmers give 50 baby snakes at 1 month old about 0.5 kilos of froglets a day. Adult snakes are housed in cement enclosures, approximately 1.2 meters high, in order to prevent escapes, with side doors and mesh for ventilation. They are fed live, clean prey such as mice, chicks, and other similar animals, around 2 to 3 times a week. Food is often left in the enclosure for snakes to eat at will. To ensure that they eat, some farmers still hand feed them like this. Snakes can be aggressive to strangers, but they will be familiar with the feeders and handlers over time. Therefore, the workers who feed the snakes tend to be the same that have fed them since birth. However, these skilled workers still have to wear protective gear or use safety tools when feeding them. Plus, they must not get too close to them after wearing perfume or drinking alcohol, because this will change their body's smell and make snakes think that they are strangers. Despite being wild animals with high disease resistance, weekly hygiene is still essential in snake farming. Snakes need clean, cool water for drinking and bathing. The snake is a relatively clean animal to farm because their excrement is dry and not too odorous. Snakes are harvested for meat between 6 months to 1 year old. At this time, if they weigh 1.1 pounds or above, they are considered the top grade. Only male snakes are harvested because females are kept to continue reproducing. 8-month-old snakes weighing over 1.2 kilos are more prolific egg layers. This country harvests and processes around 14 to 18 million pounds of snakes each year, and around 40% of them go to cooking. Snake soup is a traditional and meticulously prepared dish famous in China. It is believed to prevent colds, is rejuvenating, and increases longevity. Snake wine is made from 67% of farmed snakes, using both venomous and non-venomous species with high medicinal value. The basic process involves killing and cleaning the snakes, often leaving the gallbladder and other medicinal parts intact. Snakes are then specially placed standing in jars. After that, the winemakers fill it with rice wine or glutinous rice wine with an alcohol content of 40 to 60%. The wine is steeped for a minimum of 6 months, although ideally over 3 years, to fully extract the purported medicinal properties of the snakes and herbs. Consumed in small quantities, typically 30 to 50 milliliters per day, snake wine is believed to alleviate arthritis and enhance vitality. Despite all those good things, snake wine poses significant dangers. Numerous incidents of snake bites occurring when the snakes weren't killed before going into the jar and revived after being dormant for over 3 years have been told. This is because they can stay dormant for a long time in harsh conditions like the cold and dark, when they lack oxygen and food. In 2023, China's most famous snake village sold more than 3 million snakes to pharmaceutical companies that use the reptiles' gallbladders and skin to create nutritional supplements. These products are sought after in Japan, South Korea, America, and Europe. Perhaps the most valuable product derived from snakes is their venom, a complex cocktail of enzymes and toxins referred to as liquid gold in China. Dried snake venom can fetch up to 3,000 to 5,000 yuan per gram, about 450 to 750 US dollars depending on the species. It's expensive because harvesting venom requires a high level of skill to handle the snake bites effectively and safely. The worker has to wear protective gear and then grab the tail of the snake like this. After that, they can use the stick to secure the reptile's head onto the ground so that they can easily grab its head and milk the venom into a cup. New handlers will often suffer bites several times before mastering the technique. In the context of modern agricultural development, a special profession is increasingly attracting attention. That is quail farming, full of potential and profit. Hundreds of millions of quail are raised not only for their eggs, but also to provide meat. Let's explore the successful model of Chinese farmers in raising and processing this small bird. Almost any type of weather conditions are suitable for starting quail farming. This bird weighs only around 200 grams, but produces millions of eggs each year, more than any other bird species. Currently, the region that raises the most quails in the world is China. An estimated 1.4 billion quails are raised annually for meat and eggs. Of those, more than 80% are produced in China. Each year, China processes about 1.3 million quails and around 84 billion eggs, accounting for nearly 38% of total global production. It not only provides meat and egg products to Chinese consumers, but it also exports. To ensure the development and health of the entire quail herd, farmers must invest from selecting eggs to putting them in incubators. When the eggs hatch, they go through a screening process that helps to select the best quails with the best health. Now, let's explore the farming activities at the quail farm. Incubating quail eggs is a meticulous process that requires careful attention to detail to ensure a successful hatching. This process begins with choosing a suitable incubator. The size and complexity of the machine will depend on the scale of the farm in operation. A basic incubator can hold around 100 eggs and is equipped with automatic features that help to maintain the right conditions for egg development. The first important factor in artificial incubation is to keep eggs at a temperature of around 37.5 degrees Celsius. Most modern incubators have thermostats to adjust the temperature, but farmers still regularly monitor and adjust if necessary in order to prevent any harmful fluctuations. Farmers turn eggs at least 4 times a day to ensure the yolk does not stick to the egg membrane. Farmers check quail eggs regularly to identify any undeveloped eggs early. They can then discard them to avoid contamination or waste. Incubators have features such as automatic thermoregulation and insulation in order to ensure proper egg development, maintain the right temperature and humidity. This is very important for successful hatching. Managing the correct male to female ratio in quail populations is also very important. Ideally, there should be 1 male for every 10 females in the breeding cage. Quail eggs normally take about 17 to 18 days to hatch. Increasing the humidity to about 65% helps to soften the embryo and eggshell, so the quail eggs easily come out of the shell. Farmers do not remove them from the incubator until 24 hours after the incubation begins. This allows enough time for all of the quails to hatch. Many generations of quails are raised in incubators, causing them to lose their natural instincts in regards to nesting and caring for their young. Therefore, young quails will be quarantined for a period of time before being introduced to the large quail flock. This helps to ensure they do not carry any pathogens. For these birds away from their natural environment, temperature is an important aspect. This is because quails are inherently sensitive to temperature fluctuations. This is the invisible factor that causes the loss of quail harvests in China every year. Modern farms use LED lighting systems that can be programmed to simulate natural daylight. This lighting cycle saves energy and can be adjusted to provide optimal light intensity. Besides this, the ventilation system ensures a steady flow of fresh air and maintains optimal humidity, which helps to prevent respiratory diseases and reduce stress in quails. Farmers provide fresh water continuously to prevent their quail flocks from becoming dehydrated. Because of their small size and weight, quails are often raised at high density in cages. So if one individual gets sick, it can easily spread to the entire flock. Cleaning and disinfection of barns is also done periodically by farmers. Besides cage maintenance, disease prevention is an important part of quail farming. Farmers regularly check their quails for any sign of disease. Monitoring your quail's behavior and appetite can also pick up signs of potential health problems. Some housing systems provide quails with more natural light and space. This provides more opportunities for them to perform natural behaviors. However, the number of quail living in high welfare conditions is very low and is often on small-scale farms. Female quail begin to lay eggs within 6 to 7 weeks of age. They lay about 300 eggs in the first year of life. Then they lay about 150 to 175 eggs in the second year, with egg production gradually decreasing. This is all that happens on the quail egg production line. Quail eggs are processed on conveyor belts, and the old and damaged eggs are removed manually. After that first step, the eggs are washed in a special machine, using warm water and mild disinfectant to remove dirt and bacteria. After washing, the eggs are dried and then exposed to ultraviolet light, which further disinfects the shell and kills any remaining pathogens. During the cooking process, this machine turns the eggs using a spiral egg boiling mechanism to improve the deviation of the yolk center. Quail egg shells are broken before being put into the peeling machine. Workers continue to remove bad eggs and transport good eggs to the marinating stage. Finally, the marinated eggs are cooled and packaged. These systems are designed to process large volumes of eggs efficiently, ensuring eggs reach the market intact and are in a consistent condition. Quails that are not suitable for egg production or breeding will be kept. They will ensure the optimal weight and quality are achieved before processing to meat production. Chinese people use quail meat as health recovery food because it has many nutrients. When quails raised for meat begin to lay eggs, a month later they are slaughtered. Quail food must be low in fiber, rich in nutrients, and diverse in types. In addition to pelleted food, they are also fed a diet including a number of foods, such as fish meal and cornmeal. This menu can supplement nutrition with some vitamins, synthetic antibiotics, and trace elements for quails to grow stably. Compared to other types of poultry, quail farming does not cost too much, and the profits can be quite high. Chinese farmers also don't have much know-how. They just try to take care of the cages and the quail's health regularly in order to produce quality quails. Kwaituk Town has promoted quail farming to increase villagers' income by cooperating with local farmers. To date, the number of quails raised annually in Kwaituk has exceeded 1 million because quail eggs and meat are widely sold in many places, including Shanghai and the Jiangsu province. They are slaughtered humanely, and after plucking the feathers, there is a gutting stage to remove the internal organs in order to ensure the cleanliness and safety of the meat. The final step in the meat production process is packaging the quail carcass. It can either be sold whole or processed into different parts depending on the market. Quail meat is popular in other countries besides China, and quail dishes have become a feature of Asian street food culture.